Hey guys, I'm just gonna do, I guess this will be a machining and vlog. Anyways, when you're watching it, I'm gonna show a little video on some Hemi heads. These ones would be eagle heads, but the non-eagles and the eagles actually have this same inherent issue. And I'm not just 100% sure the reason for it, but it's a valve train issue. Not a lifter issue, not a camshaft issue. So anyways, let's look at it. So this is a head, and we do quite a few of these. Actually, there's this one that got dropped off, and just the other day we were doing those ones. So there's a few inherent issues with these things. Now, one is these seats, not so much the intake, usually the exhaust. The exhaust seats actually like to fall out of these things. But not, the older ones were worse than the newer ones from what I've seen. But when if we're rebuilding them, we always stake them in. So you'll see in some of the videos where we've staked seats in it. Now that's if we've replaced the seats. Some people actually don't want us to stake them, so then we don't stake them, just depending on what we're doing. But if we're not recutting seats and stuff, then obviously we can't stake them because it does change the roundness of the, it takes it out of round. So anyways, what I wanted to show was, so this cylinder head, the engine has 160,000 kilometers with 100,000 miles. It's not really a high mileage engine by any stretch of the imagination. What I wanted to show you, this is the valve. And you can see how wore it is compared to a different intake valve, which is out of the same cylinder head, just out of a different hole. And it's not near as bad. Still has a little bit of wear, but not near as bad. And also too, you can see so that you can see the width of this seat. Let's get a marker here. You can see the width of this seat here, where I just marked it, versus how wide this one is. It's way wider on this one than it is on this one. So now there is lots of people say that it comes from a bunch of different stuff. I honestly don't know. The valves are not made out of fantastic material, so that could be maybe why. When we replace them with an SBI valve. Never had an issue after we've done that. A lot of times, like years ago, they would always say that a valve would do this because the intake or the spring is not strong enough. So basically when the valve closes, it goes dunk, 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 dunk a bunch of times, like obviously not that much, but a little bit. So, and that's what wears it out. I personally, on these ones, being that it's not that high mileage of an engine, the seats don't look bad, other than they are wore from it banging around and then the seat angle changing. I would say that there's two things for it. Excessive idling would maybe do it, and or the spring tension isn't high enough. I don't know for any of the guys that are watching that are engine machinists or do this stuff for a living. Let me hear you in the comments what you guys figure that's doing it. I'm just curious. That's the only thing that I can think. I know years ago that's what they always said, was either a bad valve or the intake spring isn't enough. And what we do when we reassemble these things, we always make sure that the set height is proper, so your spring height. And lots of times we'll add, if we're adding a shim, we'll add a little bit more across the board just to add a little bit more spring tension to them. But that was something I did want to mention to you guys. If you are taking these, if you're doing a camshaft in your Hemi, because they do have inherent issues of camshaft problems, I would recommend, at the very least, the heads should be surfaced, and I would recommend having the valves pulled out, the heads cleaned, and make sure, because that was for this set of heads right here. They had two valves that we had to replace. The guy didn't want to do a complete valve or complete rebuild on the heads. I personally would have if it was mine, but there again, you know, if you don't have the money to spend, you don't have the money to spend. But I would, that one was getting a camshaft, and he brought it in just for us to clean the heads and surface them. and we found 2 bad valves. So if he would have put it back together, it would have been short for life. So this also could have a detrimental issue on, if you have this issue where this beats into it, that will kill the lifter and the camshaft as well. So not just the valve is going to get hurt. So if you put a new camshaft in it and this is what the valve looks like and the seat is beat out of it, you'll wreck the new camshaft and lifters. So just take into consideration, you want to make sure you check and make sure that's not your issue. So anyways, I just thought I would do this short video on these things. Hit me up in the comments if you have any comments about it. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.